Welcome to Beyond Work, a series by Forbes DACH where we uncover the major shifts in our future work lives. My name is Olivia Chang, and on this series, I'll be speaking to the business leaders and entrepreneurs who are driving this movement. Today on the show, I'd like to welcome Annika Månsson, who's the CEO of Happy at Work based in Geneva. Annika, why don't you start by telling us how you have been trying to stay optimistic in your work life throughout this whole pandemic? What would you say is your own secret formula?
Hello, and thank you for asking that very important question. I would say that I create rituals, everyday rituals, taking care of myself on a physical and mental and emotional level. So integrating those rituals like yoga in the morning, meditation in the evening, one walk a day outside, and as much as I can be in the forest. So important.
As I understand, you were born in Sweden. So how much of your approach to work is influenced by this Scandinavian culture?
I think a lot. Yes, a lot. I left Sweden before I was 20, so that was early, but I still have a link, still have a little farm there. So Swedish culture is very important for me. And I have integrated the Scandinavian way of communication, the way of communicating and the way of working also very much in my methods and in my way of working in Happy at Work. So there is a lot of Scandinavian colors in there.
The future of work right now is looking increasingly hybrid. Now, from your expertise, how do you think we can foster proactive but also happy workplaces going forward?
Well, we need to take care of ourselves first. So this self-care, this is really important. We do not know exactly, and many of my customers and what I observe is that we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to rest and to restore. And we are running around overwhelmed and so stressed and want to do so many things. And all this anxiety and fear and uncertainty brings in a lot of unbalanced things in our lives. We need to deal with that. And so how can we take care of ourselves? Well, it's really finding our own balance, and that's very personal. But this part of self-leadership, self-care is one of the most important fundamentals right now. And I can see in companies that people, they don't know how to do, they don't know where to start. And that's all levels. If it's employees, if it's middle managers, if it's leaders or top leaders, they're struggling with that. Concretely, how do we do that? So helping ourselves and helping each other to take care of ourselves. So self-care is one thing, and then team care, and also like how can we go through this period of so rapid change? The context it's a chaotic and crisis-like, if I can say so. So we need also to take care of the team as a whole, and that's the leaders and the board's, of course, responsibility too. And we must not neglect that. So self-care and team care, two very important words.
What would you say is the best way really to measure this employee engagement and satisfaction?
Well, I would say, first of all, keep it simple right now, but we're not going to go through some surveys or some complex things. So, and this is through communication, it's being present. Leaders today, they need to be present, and they need to listen, and they need to reassure, and they need to create a secure space. We can call it emotional security, where we can dare and share emotions and support each other.
I saw on your website that you do offer some training programs for a chief happiness officer. Can you just walk us through what that role would really entail, and where do you see the value of that, especially during a pandemic?
In the best words, we should all be chief happiness officers. Of course, that's a goal, but we're not there yet. And so a chief happiness officer, the role of this person is to facilitate human relations, facilitate communication, support, bringing in support to employees, bringing in support to leaders, management level, and cultivate this well-being, and do prevention also in terms of risk for burnout, risk for conflicts. So it's really a key function. Then we can call it, Chief Happiness Officer, quote, that's a funny name. But what we see in real life also, it's like those functions, they have different names. Sometimes we find people, manager, culture and people officer, project leader in human resources. So there are many names, but the goal is to really facilitate human relations and to make the work environment a safe, secure, and a place where it's easy to thrive and not getting sick, if I can say so.
A lot of our workflows have obviously been turned upside down during this time. You personally, what kind of new leadership styles have you seen emerge from this crisis?
I think that more and more we need to integrate the sustainability ingredients in the way we lead. Sustainability ingredients, we need to think more on what is sustainable in terms not only of the environment, but also about the human beings. So sustainable leadership, and we can call that authentic leadership, we can call that resilient leadership. And that is what I'm doing more and more, bringing in resilience. And what is resilient leadership? Well, it's bringing in the sustainability for the human beings. It's also reviewing what are the strategic priorities. So the employee they don't come on the last on the list, but perhaps they come on the top of the list. And also it's about culture and also about operational, what do I do concretely on a daily basis as a leader. And here we come very much close to feelings, to thinking, to doing. So it's integrating those, walking my talk, also about aligning my behavior as a leader with the values of the company, creating this secure place where we can share emotion. So it's really, I would say, caring, sharing, and daring.
So during this whole time and over the past few months, individuals and companies have come to you. What would you say is one of the top queries or concerns that they're having right now? And can you just give us an example of a problem that you've managed to help them solve during this time?
People, they get lost. So they are a little out of balance. They feel out of balance and they feel like they're losing themselves. So this self-care coaching, helping them through the stormy weather to build resilience within. That is a very common everyday demand we have. And the last months we have doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of online coaching sessions within Happy at Work team towards those individuals in companies and so on. So that's a very big demand. And also this thing about how can we function as a team? How can we continue functioning as a team? So the workshops asking to help them with team care. It's also something that I'm doing on a regular basis. And we do that on Zoom, and it's very interactive, and we're building like codes of conduct. We are working on values. We are working on emotions. We're working on what are the signs when the team is feeling good? What are the signs when we're getting a little bit lost? So we're linking the self-care fundamentals into the team care, and we build up actions plans. Action plans are very much based on our methodology. We call it the 3R methodology, and the 3R means relations, results, and resilience. So we are building up that in the team care workshops.
So for a manager who might be watching this right now and thinking that they want to assess how engaged their workforce is, what would you say would be some of the warning signs that they have to look out for?
Well, we're talking about individual warning signs. So the leader, he must be really pay attention and be aware and wanting also to see those signs. The signs can be just looking at people, they look tired, watching their behaviors, they do not speak, or they're getting aggressive, or they do not reply, or they see that they're working lots of hours. I worked with a pharmaceutical company last week, and the team leader said, they have like 20 hours overwork every week, and that's a signal. I mean, we can do that on a short period of time because the house is on fire, but it's not the rule, it's not the norm, it's an exception. Also, like the best thing and the most easiest and smoothest way of seeing how my team is and how they feel is to ask the question Monday morning: how are you? How do you feel? And starting to take this temperature, as we say in Sweden, of really how we feel and what are our needs. Now, if you have never talked about those things in the team, it can be a little bit awkward and a little bit strange that why are we talking about this? But we need to start somewhere. And so really starting those conversations openly and secure in a structured way, it's a very good way. Other warning signs that we see often is like they don't show up on the team meetings on Zoom or a Zoom meeting or Teams meetings. They do not speak. They are late with things. And that's why also it's for a leader, it's really important to check in regularly on individual level with each of the team members, and also global as a team, to have those open discussions. We those human relations, we really need them more than ever.
Speaking of feelings and how we feel, the reality is that sometimes we do have those days where we're not as motivated or we are having a down day. So what advice would you give to someone who is feeling like they are in a rut, and to fostering their own happiness? Do you have some 3 go-to tips of your own?
Yes. Happiness at work and well-being at work is not about we always must feel happy in 365 days. No, it's like accepting the negative feelings, accepting them and welcoming them, and sharing. And also cultivate the positive sides. We human beings, we have this natural tendency to focus on what didn't work well out, right? The little minor error I did this morning. And when we go to bed, we're going to have that minor error in mind and not the other 20 things that we brilliantly could deal with. So it's like working mental training and focusing also what went well with today. That's why this little exercise every evening, 3 good things with a day, it's a very impactful positive exercise that really can change our focus. And also practicing gratitude exercises, self-compassion, and really being here present, mindfulness, and all those exercises practicing, they are very important for us too. And not forgetting that helping others, making others feel good, it's the most important source for happiness also.
Well, Annika, thank you so much for sharing all those tips and advice of yours. And I hope that more of us can find more of that joy in our work life. Thank you very much.
Thank you.